Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. It's round 17 of our Moto3 World Championship, and it's Thailand GP for the Chang International Circuit. So coming off a magnificent battle in Motegi. If you haven't watched that one, I would highly advise for you to watch that Grand Prix before watching this video, because the absolute amazing battle that unfolded towards the end of the Grand Prix is definitely worth a watch. But here today in the Chang International Circuit, a track that I actually really like. I'm a little bit concerned, however, though, because the likes of Misano, Aragon, there's quite a lot of straights here in the Chang International Circuit. Misano didn't feature too bad for us, it seemed to be okay, but Aragon proved to be quite difficult, and I imagine there's quite a lot of tracks such as Malaysia and even Australia that could be difficult, considering we have the power setting 1. So if you're new to the channel and you're watching this for the very first time, now we only use power setting 1 on this channel because basically every other power setting just gives us too much of an advantage and it just makes the game a little bit too easy. So here today we are utilising power setting 1 and no other power setting but number 1. So bringing into turn 5 a little bit wide there, we're down by 7/10 of a second. You will see the difference on the straights and how much of an effect the power setting 1 has on our lap times. We'll see as things progress, we will improve. There's obviously a lot of corners to be navigated and a lot of corners to improve upon. And I was actually playing this one after playing some Ride 4 and some MotoGP 21 500cc, which you will see this week actually. I have a 500cc video coming up soon. It's a world record attempt, so stay tuned for that one. I can't wait to show you. That is, that'll be coming out tomorrow actually, so stay tuned for that one. That'll be at 4 PM GMT, of course. I do upload videos every single day, so now would be a great time to subscribe if you haven't done so already. As this lap is coming to a completion, we'll get an indication of where we're going to be compared to the rest of the field. So currently as it stands, we are 4th place, but 6.5 of a second behind John McPhee, the Petronas SRT Honda. Not ideal, but we do know the Hondas will have that superior straight speed compared to the likes of the Husqvarna and the KTM, and especially this Husqvarna is sitting on power setting 1. We do have Ayumi Sasaki ahead of us, so we're probably going to get up a little bit of slipstream here, providing he manages to stay ahead of us, unless we go for the outside line and go round him. We're sort of breaking into turn 3 now, utilising Sasaki in a minute to hopefully, if he can just get ahead of me, we can now stay within him and utilise his slipstream. So I took the really wide line out there to try and pick the motorcycle up gradually to pick up as much speed as possible into the rear of the Red Bull KTM Tech 3 team, as we now go around the outside of Sasaki and beautifully done into turn 4. Watch the rumble strip there as it gets a little bit treacherous. You've seen us sliding and bucking around. 71,000 of a second we lost out on there, but unfortunately ran it a little bit too deep on the entry of turn 5. So Sergio Garcia, the gas rider, the Aspar team, he's just to the left of us there. Hopefully I want him to get through so we can pick up some valuable slipstream. So it really made the difference being behind Ayumi Sasaki. I'm going to try and do the same here with Garcia and hopefully pick up some spoils and some extra speed for the next couple of laps. So a couple of orange sectors coming in on the left hand side of your screen there as John McPhee has just gone down, the Scotsman crashing out, and Tatsuki Suzuki actually just got himself up into 3rd place with a red sector in the sector 3. So good stuff from him, as I've just missed a gear there. I've gone for 6th gear rather than 5th by mistake. I do have semi-automatic on, so when it went to 5th, I think I changed it then to 6th. So into the right hand side for turn 12. We're going to be navigating this corner a couple more times here in this session, and fingers crossed we can chase down Sergio Garcia and utilise some valuable slipstream, as Suzuki now puts himself at the top of the pile with the first sub 144 this track has seen today. So great job for Tatsuki Suzuki. Didn't do too grand in his own track, but Chang International Circuit, yes, it's not that far away. Guess he can utilise this as a new home, if you will. But we are grabbing some extra tenths behind Sergio Garcia, breaking into out of the very difficult right-hander of turn 3, closing in on the Aspar rider all the time, up by 7/10 of a second compared to our previous best, which of course was only a 1:44.963. Now the previous lap was, of course, which was pretty much abandoned, doesn't really count, but we are still able to stay in the slipstream of Sergio Garcia, and if we can keep on both wheels, we might no longer be a second down to Tatsuki Suzuki. Now breaking into the difficult left-hander of turn 5, this is where we made the little bit of a mess up last time. Only down by a 10th by utilising Sergio Garcia's slipstream. This is very good. I'm feeling a little bit more positive about this track now for the Husqvarna and for Grant. As we now get onto the right-hand side for turn 7, still picking up a lot of slipstream. We're roughly right there with him, as we'll brake onto the right-hand side for turn 8. A little bit too much front brake there. You've seen the rear sort of kick out. That has compromised quite a lot of speed there. Yes, we lost around 0.3 of a second. Not ideal, but I'm sure if we can get those corners right, that's where it's going to make the difference. We can really change the complexion and potential of having a pole position if we are so much stronger in those particular areas. Dropping anchors for the final corner of the Chang International Circuit on the right hand side for turn 12. Push out now, use as much speed as we can, getting across the line, and we do go fourth by 0.5 down. So a quick recap after the free practice session. Darren Binder on top of the pile right now with Suzuki, Acosta, Toba and Grant in 5th place. I'm pretty pleased to be in 5th place, and only 0.5 of a second down is not that bad. We have work to do in qualifying. And speaking of qualifying, the heavens have opened once again in another qualifying session. The job is going to be a tough one now. Dennis Foggia, Dennis Onchu, Ayumi Sasaki and Jason Dupasquier all join the riders in Q2 for the whole shindig to try and take pole position. Now the rain has not fared well for us this season. We need to sort of put that to bed right now and have a cracking qualifying session, because things are really heating up in the championship. We need a good performance here today. We have to qualify better than we did in Motegi. We had to do a lot of work to try and get to the front. So similar conditions in this qualifying session to Motegi last time out. That was more of a wet track which was drying. This one is completely wet, completely sodden, so there's no chance of it drying. Might as well go full straight as way the second it starts and go absolutely for it and give it our best performance yet. So we lost a lot of time in the first sector compared to Jamamasia's time, which is a 1:47.873. I'm honestly not too sure how we're going to get on with qualifying. We're going to give it 120%, just like the AI's difficulty, of course, as we'll try and chuck it onto the left-hand side now for turn 4. Beautiful entry, but we're probably going to run it too wide. We do indeed. That is a lap already ruined. Well, then we'll have to wait for the next one now. Might as well take the long lap penalty while we're here. Get reacquainted with the long lap penalty, because you never know if I'm handed a long lap penalty for this evening's race at 8 PM GMT, so make sure you are there. So of course we did butcher that lap, so I've pretty much just skipped ahead, and of course we have 10.5 minutes of this session remaining to chuck in a lap that's obviously better than an invalidation. We have Nico Antonelli around us, Dennis Foggia and Xavi Artigas with Jeremy Alcoba. Of course, Jeremy Alcoba and I have had some strong battles this season, especially in the Kimi Ring in the qualifying session. It really came to blows and the two riders clashed. Hoping that he won't be anywhere near me on the start, because he is rather aggressive as we lose 0.6 of a second, but that is a personal best so far. Currently as it stands, that's not really going to put us up into the top positions. But if we can get 3rd row, I guess it's going to be damage limitations. I'd accept that. 3rd row is not the end of the world, so fingers crossed we can do better than that. But if that's the goal that we're going to be going for today, then we'll try and make it so. Now onto the left-hand side for turn 4. We don't want to make the same mistake we just did on the previous lap. Thank goodness we did not. Braking into the left-hander of turn 5. We are 0.8 of a second down, and that is another lap completely ruined. What a mistake from DrAce. What a mistake from Grant. The Husqvarna man is certainly feeling the pressure and is not looking too confident or hot on that Husqvarna. Now the lap time is still valid, but of course it's not really going to break down any walls. It's not certainly going to put us into the top positions. We're going to come up in any moment now on Sector 3's time. We'll get an indication of where we are, and the time, 2.5 seconds down to a Jamamasia's time right now. Yes, it's a personal best, but it's simply, well, it's material right now because it's just simply a lap. The real laps will start coming in a moment's time. Concerned faces in the Husqvarna garage of the Sterile Garda Max racing team. They aren't looking too grand here today, or Grant today should I say, excuse the pun. Now coming into turn 12, or at least exiting turn 12, we're going to be finishing this lap with a 1:52 or a 1:54.64. So now it's time to change the tyres, get back onto there and do what we do best, and that is to chuck in those fast lap times. We've had many pole positions this season, roughly around 10 or 11. I'm pretty certain that it's going to be out of reach today, but if we can get anywhere near the front row, you better believe we're going to be doing it, and we are beautifully positioned behind the fastest man on track right now, Jamamasia. The Red Bull KTM Aya rider will take us to the promised land. Crucial moment coming up now for turn 3. If we can stay within a couple of bike lengths from Jamamasia and utilising his speed onto the next straight, this could be imperative for a decent lap time. On the exit of turn 3, we're not quite too close. I don't think we're really going to make much of a difference from the slipstream there. He's probably about a second. The actual timing on front of us has disappeared now because he's gone so far ahead. That's a little bit concerning for us. I did hope to be rather close to him, but I do think we'll catch him up towards the end of the lap. We are quite strong in the last section, but for the actual straight, understandably so, makes a big difference. We lost a whole second to Yamamasi on that one, but now we have regained 9/10 of a second. Of course, the previous lap was only a 1:54.64, so it's a little bit material right now, but it does look good to see, and we've invalidated another lap. I cannot believe the misfortune that DrAce has been facing here today in this particular qualifying session. We could be starting from 18th place in the Grand Prix tonight at 8 PM. This is rather concerning, let me tell you. We need to have the best race possible if we're going to be starting from 18th. As Yamamasi peels off into the pits, it's down to us now. 3 minutes and 20 seconds of this session remaining. You better believe it's just simply go all out. We can't pick a tow, we can't pick some sort of slipstream assistance. We're just going to have to absolutely go for it now. So across the line, third lap in a row that's been completely wasted. We have 3 minutes remaining to do probably 2 more laps to try and get us into a much better position than 18th place. Now I've got to say, I'm finding the going tough a little bit on this track, simply because of the so much time we lose on the straights. Of course my own fault because we are only using power setting 1. But I played Ride 4 a couple of hours before this one, and I did the 500cc world record attempt. And I gotta say, coming back to the Moto 3 bike in the Husqvarna felt completely different. I'm chucking it into the corners, and we go wide here into turn 3, as if I'm braking on a MotoGP bike. I'm so not used to this Moto 3 machine right now. We're gonna have one heck of a race coming up in 8 PM GMT. I honestly can't wait for it. It's going to be so challenging. I cannot wait to bring it to you in a bit, guys. I really can't. Of course, the races in Moto 3 this season have been absolutely phenomenal, and I don't doubt for a second that this Grand Prix is going to deliver something amazing. And if we do have to start from this far down, then it's just going to add to the absolute chaos and insanity that the Moto 3 Grand Prix entail. So why not? If we're going to be qualifying from 18th, so be it. I just can't wait for a bloody brilliant race. It is good to be challenged, I won't lie. I do like to be forced into these situations where we have to dig deep and fight the rest of the pack, because that is more entertaining than just disappearing and peeling out into the distance. And of course Misano actually featured that sort of Grand Prix, where I was able to get to the front and sort of disappear. I didn't know what to do with myself. It felt weird. I'm so used to going screaming at the microphone and just watching the content unfold and just start absolutely going crazy at some of the overtakes that I'm done. Especially that last overtake for Darren Binder and Motegi last time out. That was insane. That was so good. But in fact, we did actually move up into 17th place. So not all is lost. We beat Nicolo Antonelli for 17th. Not too bad. Yamamasi still holds the top spot with that 1:47.714, which was set earlier on in the session. I think since then he only improved the lap time once, and of course speaking of improving lap times, we're already 0.2 of a second down going into Sector 1, so this could be 17th or nothing. And it could be rather disappointing this, but we'll try our best going into Turn 3. Now we got a little bit out of shape on the rear, but that is a much better corner entry and corner exit than we have done the entire session. Granted, we're not gaining any extra tenths or anything, but we looked quite smooth going into that corner. I'm not too mad about that one. We are showing improvements all the time. Turn 4 to be navigated now, the difficult left-hander, trying to pick up lots and lots of speed. Make sure you don't get it on the rumble strip, because it does get a bit bumpy there. Braking into Turn 5, make sure you brake early so you don't go wide. Never mind, I didn't practice what I preached as we go a little bit wide. Thank goodness there we didn't get the invalidation lap, but I guess that's going to be it for us, guys. 4.5 of a second down into Turn 7. This could be curtains. We could well be looking at 17th on the grid. 6th row start for Grant, considering that our goal is to be 3rd row. I don't think we're going to be getting that here today, but we have looked like we are improving towards the end of this lap for Turn 9. I do feel confident in this sort of section. If we're going to have to fight from the back, we're going to have to try and take as much advantage as possible into this couple of sections here. Then go a little bit onto the rumble strip. Lost a little bit of time there, but we weren't going to improve anyway. Going into the final corner, holding the rear brake, sliding the Husqvarna into Turn 12, and then we'll full acceleration across the line for a very disappointing qualifying session. But Jeremy Masia does take top spot with Jeremy Alcoba and Andrea Mino on the front row. Binder, McPhee and Rodrigo on the second. It's a great qualifying for them, but for us guys, not so much. We'll be starting from 17th on the grid. But as always guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload, and I will see you at 8 PM tonight for the Grand Prix. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now, with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.